Hello everyone, welcome back to Chaotic Fox Gaming, and we are once again playing The Forgotten City. This time we are going to finish the plaque ending, but in order to do that we need to get the last and final plaque from Dooley, who said he is not going to give it to us until he is free, which honestly it's a fair trade. It's a very fair trade, but it does mean that we need to run through the election again to get Galerius voted in. A little unfortunate, however, luckily we do know what we need to do. In this save, he is already an electee, but we do need to try to convince enough people that they should vote for him. So we're going to have to run through that real quick and then do the election. So with that all being said, let's get started. Okay. Where's the man? Scares me every time. Are they already having the election right now? It's like really quiet here right now. And I don't...
Be careful who you trust.
It's really unsettling when they walk up to me and just say really weird things. I agree that you need my help, but I need... What's his face to come back so I can bribe him? He was literally right here.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
Yeah, me too.
Hello there, friend. May I say, that is a glorious bow you're carrying. Do you mind if I ask where you acquired it?
You never believe me if I told you.
Well, I'll take your word for it. But perhaps you'd be interested in selling it to me. I mean, it's not as if you have any use for it down here.
It's not for sale.
Oh well, let me know if you change your mind. But for now, can I help you with something?
Who are you going to vote for?
Sentius, I suppose. Stability is always good for business.
I'd like for you to vote for Galerius.
Yeah? And what's he going to do for me? He's nothing.
Would a gift change your mind?
Certainly. For a few thousand denarii.
And I think I have that right now. Fine, here's 3,000.
Pleasure doing business. Can I help you with anything else?
I'll be going now.
Very well. Another time.
I think that's enough people. Dooley can't vote. He's gonna vote. I think he votes. Virgil won't vote for Virgil won't vote for him. He gets upset when I ask. Though I think it was clear, like, oh, if we can get rid of this, maybe he'll vote for him. I don't really know how to deal with that though. I don't know.
Salve.
He won't vote for him, but he also won't vote. He doesn't vote. How many men are in this city?
Citizen.
I don't think I can get him to change his mind.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
Who are you going to vote for?
Galerius. Sorted out my rheumatism. Who the Fine.
Okay, actually, I think maybe we
So
could start
you're-
the election right now. Where is the priestess? Priestess.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Yes, it's amazing.
A new face. Ave.
Ave.
And may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
I want you to start the election.
It must be completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Galerius, the challenger. Why do you ask?
Can we start the election now?
As I said, I'm planning to hold it before dusk. But I suppose...
Yeah. Prevents conflict. She's gonna do that. And let's go take our place.
Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
I like
To go to the theater.
the election music. It's nice. We're gonna go over here. And we're gonna stand right here. Oh, but you know what? We're probably gonna run into the issue where he's not gonna get elected because Malleolus is gonna show up, isn't he? So it's not even gonna matter. How do we take care of that? I don't know how we take care of that. I don't... we're gonna run into this issue again. Are we missing someone? Was it because I was in his spot? No, he's just being really slow.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helver. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Galerius.
Virgil.
Sentius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helver.
Okay.
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to
Yay.
say, this
I just
isn't
don't trust
something I ever wanted. Now that you put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
He's very awkward. And I'm sure he's pissed. But I really need to follow this. Yep, I hear ya. We'll go talk to Sentius in a second. They're so slow. Everyone's so slow.
Fortune smiles on you today, Julius. Magistrate Galerius here has ordered your release.
You're going to let me out of here?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
Watch him immediately
I'd
break
love
the
to
golden
stay
rule.
and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest.
Liberator.
I'll speak with you
That's
soon,
funny.
Dooley.
Okay,
It's
give
so
me my
lovely to
plaque.
see Dooley out and about again.
Hello? I'm Dooley. Magistrate Galerius said I should thank the newcomer. Are you the newcomer?
Yes, that's me.
Oh, it is you. Then, thank you. You're a big helper. I was locked up, but they let me out again. I'm so happy.
You're welcome.
You can have my shiny plaque if you want.
Perfect.
And maybe you can help me find my treasure. My friend Hannibal used to look after me, and he said he always would. But then he died.
How dare he?
But before that, he told me if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious.
What was it?
He gave me a key to the cisterns and told me to keep it safe. He said there's something very precious way up high. Please help me find it. Please. I had to keep it a secret until I found someone I could trust.
All right, I'll help you.
Oh, thank you. Here's the key.
And the plaque. Give me the plaque. Great.
I hope you find it. In the cisterns, way up high, Hannibal said. Oh, look over there. Something shining. Is it treasure? Maybe it is treasure. I could see it for myself. So
Okay, I don't care what he does anymore.
and it's just lying out here in the open. Maybe nobody wants it anymore. Maybe no one will mind if I
He's gonna set it off, isn't he?
take it.
He's about to set it off.
There.
Yep, okay.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Well, there's that. Crazy that Sentius had a point about keeping Julie locked up. Because it took him like 1 minute of freedom to set off the golden rule. Clearly he just needs someone to like be around and take care of him. That's all it is.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your back?
Just need you to take care of some things.
Sounds serious. I'm listening.
Not that it really matters, we have all the plaques, but why don't you go do
Yulia.
all these things anyways?
All right, I can do that. Poor guy. My uncle was a victim at rheumatism's altar, and he ended up killing himself. All right, got it. All right, let me see. Stop Fabia going in.
I don't know why we're listening to all this. Just go.
I'll go.
Okay. Wait, let's double check something. Yes, return all 4 plaques. Okay, we're good. Okay, this is exciting. Thank you. It is all up to me. Say something else encouraging. Okay. Ba-da-da-da. Oh. They returned. Whoa! Very cool. So excited to get murdered. Which one? I think we're gonna say Pluto. Pluto, father of riches, grant me an audience. Or, oh, would I have been able to pick? Oh, that would have been great. It's like, pick who you think is gonna be nicest to you. Oh, I was supposed to look at the door. Shit, I wasn't looking at the door. Osiris, Lord of Silence, grant me an audience? Yeah, I fucked up. Because I wasn't paying attention. No, I get it. I don't know what door this is. No, this is... Oh, okay, wait. This looks... Okay, I'm sorry. This is... Okay. Hades, Lord of Many, grant me an audience. There we go. I'm supposed to look at the room that I'm in. That's what it is. I just got lucky at the first door because I was like, well, they kept talking about Pluto. And then this one is... I think he said... No, it's Osiris. Osiris, Lord of Silence, grant me an audience. Whisper, I'm hoping that, like, you and I are gonna, like... Nergal, the Fierce One, grant me an audience. Whoa. Whoa. What the fuck? This is not chill. Okay. This is not what I was expecting. Yeah. Where are you? Are you in a box? And why is this so science?
And here you are.
Hello?
Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names.
Yeah.
Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity.
Stressed.
Ask what you will.
I'm so stressed. I don't have any questions. I just show up and go like, I don't need to know a fucking thing from you. What's your story?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
Why does your place look like this? You're a god.
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors
Are you an alien?
revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
Why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords: desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be
He really
addictive.
is just an alien. Who is the woman on your left?
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpine to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long.
How dare I? Who's that on your right?
That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutabal to
even
the
happening?
Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
May I see your true form?
No. Long ago I swore to Proserpina that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Okay.
As you wish.
He's like, my true form, my beloved does not like it. She does not want to see that. Okay. What is this
It
place?
has come to be known simply as the Underworld. And it exists because of a wager
A
I made
wager?
long ago.
Say more. What was the wager you made?
That is a long story.
Oh my
One that began
goodness.
over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day.
Say more.
You see, long ago, my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric.
And honestly, that's our own
You all
business.
but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself.
So she's
But he refused.
being
I
tormented.
did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
That is literally crazy. If I was him, I'd be pissed too. Listen, I'm very upset for our spirit guide. She has been amazing, and I'm kind of feeling like she just wants to die at this point. She's like, this has been terrible. I've been suspended in this box for 3,000 years, and honestly, it's kind of not it. And that sucks, so I have a feeling she's just gonna ask us to kill her. And that's not gonna be a good thing for us, but if I was him, I'd be like, father-in-law, what do you mean? I can't bring her home. She's human now, but she wasn't human always. And clearly we can reverse this and she won't be human anymore, number one. And number two, she's your daughter. How dare you? Rude ass. And then also it's like, I built this place for these humans, and I just need one set of humans to not fuck it up for a year. 1 year, which to him is like no time at all. That's like a second in his life. He's forever alive. He lives forever. 1 year is like a blink to him. And he's like, how are these people fucking it up every single time? Again and again and again. They just never stop fucking it up. I mean, that's gotta like kill you. Oh, that's terrible. What a bad wager. Also, terrible. 0 out of 10 for everyone involved. Who are your kin?
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names. But perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Persephone.
Who built the city?
As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
How did you decide who comes
To
here?
ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for, only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persephone's along with it.
How did humans learn about the Underworld?
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth.
I love that he's willing to answer all of my questions, but he's still gonna rock my shit after this. Like, I'm gonna get murdered so bad. Are you responsible for the Golden Rule?
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. And when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold.
Oh my goodness.
And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
That's so rough. And imagine, like, being one of the golden statues and being around for like years and years and years, and just seeing it happen again and again and again and again. At some point, wouldn't you also be like, please, someone just last a year, last however long you need to last for? This is ridiculous. Why can't any group do it? There's been so many groups. So you're responsible for destroying all these lives?
I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it.
Where did these golden bows come from?
When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. A consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies.
What do you consider a sin?
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
Ooh, those are fighting words. It doesn't seem like you've been upholding it either.
Enough. You clearly know nothing.
How do you know when people sin?
I'm able to commune with all of the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes.
Is Proserpina connected to these statues in the same way?
If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
He's like, stop looking at my... stop looking at my wife. No reason.
Then what an odd question.
I've seen some terrible things here that you didn't consider a sin. How could you let them happen?
Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations? Or are you going to give me an example?
Sure. Debt bondage.
You speak of the moneylender. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
He wouldn't want to be trapped in a 30-year labor contract because of a loan.
And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others.
The whole concept of debt bondage, like slavery, is unethical. It's illegal under international law where I'm from.
Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority, this is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty where you're from?
It's customary to take out a loan to buy a house, and in some places to pay for an education.
I see. And how long might it take such a person to repay their debt?
It depends. Typically decades, sometimes their entire life. He's like, how is this different?
I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman signing over his labor for 30 years.
It's not the same. I mean, it's not as different as people like to think, but it's not the same.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately.
I think you should turn yourself into gold. Is there a way for me to the issue is I should convince him that he's done wrong. No, of course not. Never mind.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
A scam? I think this... The scam is such a weak thing to me, though. Even though that was annoying. Price gouging for life-saving medicine.
The merchant. How is that inconsistent with the rule I've outlined?
He wouldn't want someone else to demand an outrageous price for the medicine he needed if he was dying.
I disagree. Having watched this merchant, that is precisely what he would expect from others, and he would be quite capable of paying the price anyway.
You can't know what he would expect, you're just speculating.
Applying this rule always requires speculation to some degree. It requires us to ask what another person would want if they found themselves in another situation.
Doesn't that make it inherently subjective and unreliable?
Not if we're wise enough to know the mind of man.
And you think you know the minds of other people?
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
No, of course not. Never mind.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
The experiments, well, but she knew after a certain point that the golden statues were alive. I think the scam is dumb. A scam.
Ah, the tavern keeper, yes? How is that inconsistent with the rule?
She wouldn't want someone else to sell her hemlock if she thought she was buying a means of escape.
I disagree. Having watched that tavern keeper, that is precisely what she would expect from others. She would view it as a game, one she intends to win.
I disagree with that.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
Obviously not.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
I wonder if I can just ignore these two and go straight into this. It's no wonder people say the gods are cruel. This just shows how unreliable and subjective your moral code is. You're no better at judging right from wrong than any human.
Do you honestly think you could do better?
No, not really. No, but that's my point. Nobody's grasp of right and wrong is so perfect that they can be trusted with all this power. You've become a tyrant.
I should strike you down for that.
Do it, then. And if you did, you'd be proving my point.
Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning?
Let's talk
Very
about something
well.
else. That's all. I guess that's all the questions I had. I don't know what to do at this point.
Good. Then now it is time for your reckoning.
Send me back to my time.
It seems something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here?
Should I be honest? I'm a little afraid to be honest. I'm from the future.
If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here?
He cannot know.
I was hoping you could tell me.
I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpine has slumbered for 3,000 years.
I guess that means you don't know everything that's going on here.
Tread lightly, mortal.
No, you tread
Enough
lightly.
of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this.
My reckoning will
Why
never
have you
come.
here? What is it you
I don't
seek?
want to fucking be here. I'd like for you to put an end to the golden rule.
Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death.
I already know my arguments are gonna be
So,
fucking
tell me,
stupid.
Why should I put an end to the so-called golden
It's
rule?
cruel. If you're doing this for love, you should know that Persephone doesn't love you. The golden rule is corrupting the city and ensuring you'll never win the wager.
How so? And be specific. You have made a grave allegation, and I expect you to back it up.
Aurelia is exploiting people's desperation to escape by selling them hemlock.
I admit, I have grown disturbed watching her.
Decius is price gouging for life-saving medicine because he knows nobody can take it by force.
True. I have witnessed him doing that.
Rufius has become so paranoid that he's jumping at shadows like Virgil's sexuality.
He is a volatile and confused fellow, that one.
Malleolus has trapped people in debt bondage by convincing them that rebelling would break your law.
His cruelty does seem to grow greater by the day. If you're right, my involvement has corrupted the very thing I sought to observe impartially. But if I were to accept that, are you telling me these humans could coexist peacefully, without theft or violence, without my law?
I mean, no, but they might be able to last a year. You only want a year. No, but humans need to be able to use force in exceptional circumstances to correct their societies.
How so?
We use violence to discourage bad behavior, to neutralize criminals, and overthrow tyrants.
And how is that working for you?
So good so far. Where I'm from, 2,000 years in the future, it's working pretty well. On average, life expectancies are climbing, crime rates are declining.
So you say, and yet your world is still imperfect.
Well, what do you want from me? Our world will always be imperfect, but the kind of force required to create a utopia will inevitably result in tyranny.
You have spoken eloquently, and yet, if what you say is true, it follows that my wager was fatally flawed from the beginning. But that would mean Jupiter, Proserpina's father, who knew more about you than anyone, proposed a wager I could never win. Why would he do that?
I guess he doesn't love his daughter. Perhaps he left you behind because even your own kin didn't want you. Oh. Perhaps he made a mistake too.
A mistake? But he is the best and greatest of us.
Perhaps when you took on human form, you took on some... Perhaps when you took on human form, you took on some human fables as well.
Your words sting me, mortal. But perhaps it is what I deserve. As difficult as this is to admit, I have suspected as much for a long time now. And I cannot
Wow, I
deny
can't believe we
it
convinced him. I
I've been
really thought
so
I was gonna die.
fixated on taking my beloved to Elysium that every time one of you sinned, it wore away my hope of being with her again. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that you could ever be better than you are. But my rage was not born of malice. Quite the opposite. Everything I have done, I did because I loved her. Who knew this empathy of yours, which you celebrate so much, could have such a dark underside? This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
Do I want to go there? We just want to return to the world.
Very well. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
That's fine. Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will
Ooh, a
have created
paradox.
a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now,
I mean, that's
are
fair.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Farewell, mortal.
Goodbye, god of the underworld. I am, like, honestly so shocked that I was able to convince him, like, first time. I really thought that I was gonna say something wrong and get murdered right then and there. and we were gonna have to restart, and that was gonna suck. But really, we did it. Oh, we're dead.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone.
Oh.
I'm Al.
Alworth, I came here to find you.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Jude.
Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to her. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
These Romans are crazy.
I don't know, it reads like an earnest account to me. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city.
Oh, awesome.
Follow me.
I truly thought we were gonna die. I'm right behind you. Let's go, Al. Amazing. You work on that, Al. I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Good idea.
You go on ahead, and I'll be there soon.
Wowie. Good for us. Honestly, we did that. We did great. Oh, she's probably not going to be here, is she? Oh, no, she is. Crazy. What's up, Karen?
You're back! But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found Al, don't you worry. I found him. He'll be here in a moment.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
I discovered you're not who you said you were. I remember meeting you 2,000 years ago.
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Who are you really?
You can just call me Carol,
okay,
if you like.
Don't need to do this again.
I do not enjoy to see that you died.
I died
as the servant of.
How did I die?
Usually,
I think it's the same.
Most souls ask yourself.
Actually, I suppose not.
A wise decision. All you need to know is that you and Al died in possession of a sacred silver coin.
Pluto said the coins Al and I were meant. Pluto said the coins Al and I were the last in existence. What does that mean for you?
It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the Underworld has finally run its course.
Didn't I ask what was special about these coins already? And I already asked. I'm not sure there's going to be anything new here.
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks.
No, there's not going to be anything new here.
A long time ago, my order.
Yes, Pluto mentioned that my coin was the last in existence. What does that mean for... Well...
It means...
Okay, she's going to say the exact same thing. Can you return us to the land of the living?
I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Alright, Sharon, ferry us home. I want to know how she knows Al. 1 year later. Oh my goodness. I thought that was going to be the end. Whoa. That's so cool.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the Underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there?
Oh my goodness.
I'll catch
Is there
up
a
with you at the
statue
other
of
end.
me? Shut up. Is there a statue of me? No, there isn't. No, there isn't. Whoa.
You're finally here. Remember me?
What are you doing here?
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me.
What?
But I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
That's literally insane. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course.
I'm glad he's the one who's
It's
taking
hard
care of
work,
Dooley.
but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
You're with Equita now?
I know. I can't believe my luck either.
Oh, that's cute.
But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
I'd love that. Count me in. It was good to see you again.
Of course. There's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you. So you better keep moving.
This
We'll
is
speak again soon, my
insane.
friend.
Why are all these people here? Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I'm Dooley.
Okay. I remember who you are, Dooley.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't. They just kept you trapped the whole time. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
It was good to see you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm really happy that it's them taking care of him because it's like... oh, I feel like a lot of these people would not treat him right. Oh my goodness, hi!
Yeah, it's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about
Right,
you.
because I didn't talk to her in the last day. Good to see you too, Equitia.
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, And it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this. I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us. For all of us.
How's Livia?
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
I'll do that. Okay,
See
thanks.
you at the wedding, I hope.
I will be there. You were my favorite, so... I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Galilarius and everything, but it's like... What's up?
You're the Oracle, right?
None of these people remember me. Judah's
Oh,
fine.
of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
Whatever happened to Malleolus and Claudia?
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the Underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
I think you're allowed to feel that way.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Whatever happened to Aurelia?
Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair.
How did she manage
Apparently,
that
he'd
one?
proposed before they'd even met.
Oh.
And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck.
So she got scammed. As the Oracle, I foresee a terrible disappointment in her future.
Really? Huh. I feel better already. Thank you.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about.
I'm glad they're all doing great. I'm glad you're happy.
I really am.
Okay, bye.
You too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
I'll take you up on that.
I hope so.
Hello. None of these people know
You're
me.
here. It's nice to finally meet you.
Hi, Lucretia.
Lucy is fine.
Hi, Lucy.
I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If
That's
the
fair.
world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone.
Also very true.
Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So...
What are you doing with yourself
I'm
these
studying
days?
to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
Okay.
You too. Don't be a stranger.
I'm glad you got a plan there. Who is this?
Hey. Evening.
Okay, hi.
Hi there, I'm Horatius.
What's up? Hi,
I
Horatius.
understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And reuniting Centilla with us as well. So, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry you never got to see your girl again. happened to his girl?
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
Well said.
Thanks. Oh, and I don't know if you've heard, but a few of us are going for drinks later. It'd be nice to, chat with you some more.
Sounds good, I'll be
Great.
there. Whatever happened to your buddy?
He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC, so he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament.
That sounds about right, actually.
Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that.
And then
But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yep, sounds about right. Sounds like he got what he deserved.
You're not wrong.
I already can tell what he's doing. Okay, thanks.
See you at drinks later, I hope.
What's up, Scintilla?
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
Good to see you again.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him
I'd
again.
like to know what happened to him, but that's fine. What happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden
Jeez.
statue in the Underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
Good. What are you doing with yourself?
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
I'm assuming
You
she
too.
means like
See you around.
the AI Alexa.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Magnificent museum, is it not? Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius.
Good to see you.
I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that, I am most grateful.
What are you doing with yourself?
I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the Underworld and won.
Consider me there. It was good to see you again.
You too, my friend.
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia.
Hi, Fabia.
I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine.
I only talked to her
for
once,
sure.
I think. You're welcome.
I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night.
Actually, I really don't care what she's doing. I don't know why I talked to her. Who are you?
Greetings.
Okay, we already know he's a teacher. Octavia.
Hello there. Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you.
Oh my
I've
goodness.
heard so much about you.
Yeah, is she okay?
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us.
Well, you know, I'm so
But
busy.
thank
My
you
social calendar is
for coming
insane.
and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
What are you doing?
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber, not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him.
Oh, I've totally, like...
Thank you.
Confused Octavia with someone else.
And you.
I thought Octavia was the lady who was cutting up the golden statues. But why am I stuck in this wall?
Good evening. Greetings.
Good to see you, looking well.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the Underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
I don't want to read any good poems lately.
You remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
Well said.
And you.
I'm glad that she's doing better.
Farewell, friend.
Who are you?
Some soiree, innit?
Oh my goodness.
Ah, hello at last. You must be the oracle I've heard so much about.
I hate this man.
Dacius.
Hi, Dacius.
Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man.
I hate you.
Thank you.
No need to thank me. It was entirely unintended.
Such acerbic wit. I love it.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now.
They're
In
like,
fact,
we can't
I was
punish
hoping
everyone.
to ask your advice, you being the oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
I wouldn't help you even if I could.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
DVD rentals have a bright future.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm going to make a bloody fortune.
I'll be going now.
Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
It's like, I know he's not even going to lose that much money. Like, he'll lose a lot of money for, like, a normal person. But he's not going to invest all of his money in that.
What is up?
What's up, Kabosh? You're going to be nice to me this time.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle.
Thanks, Kabosh.
You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an Oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
What are you doing with yourself
For
these
a
days?
time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures.
That's good.
I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
I mean, honestly, you might as well. Sounds like you've earned it.
Indeed. Thank you, Oracle.
I'm glad that this interaction was better. Stranger.
Hello there.
You must be Scintilia.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name.
Okay, fair.
You didn't
Which
hear?
monster?
My adoptive father, Sentius, locked me up in the upper cistern to stop me from escaping. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
Sounds like he got what he deserved. What are you doing with yourself
I'm
these
living
days?
with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
I might just do that.
Thanks.
I've made so
You
many
too.
new friends.
Hi.
Hello.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius.
What's up?
I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life.
Yes,
the way
I've done
you
a
just
lot for
showed up
you
out of the
specifically,
blue
actually.
and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt.
Saved your life, saved your girl, got you both out. I guess I didn't really save her this round. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of.
That's good.
It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now.
Almost drinkable.
And watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier.
I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
It's good to see
You
you.
too.
I'm glad that everyone's doing well. What's up, Virgil?
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you. I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm studying to be an architect again and living in a beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
Did you ever figure out who was sending you those letters?
You know, looking back, I think it might have been Rufius. But he was struggling with so many of his own demons. It's hard to hold a
I didn't even
grudge.
see Rufius.
Nobody's heard from him, and I sometimes wonder what might have happened if one of us had been able to help him. I just hope, wherever he is, he's all right.
Did I not help him? I thought I gave him medicine. Did I not? Did I not have Galerius give him medicine?
You too.
Good to see you again.
If you're ever in the Netherlands, I'd be happy to show you around. It's the least I could do.
Maybe this had something more to do than just the medicine. Oh, wow. The many who shall suffer the sins of the few. Ah! I'm like half expecting something bad to happen to me.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Oh my goodness, you still have that ability. It's
Sorry
scary.
if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
Wait, I recognize that voice.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
You were whispering to me all this
Indeed.
all along?
Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You did what you could, thank you. You created the time loop?
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath.
What became of Pluto?
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
Okay, so she doesn't love him. What became of Charon?
Oh, she inherited dominion over the Underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
It was nice meeting you.
And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
Yes, what happened to them?
Good, because they remember you.
Oh my goodness.
Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the Underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
The canon ending, very cool. Wow, we saved a lot of people. We went from saving 2 people, well, if we want to include ourselves. We won't. We went from saving 2 people to saving 0 people to saving so many people. We did great. This is going to be where we end today with the canon ending. However, I will make one more video showing the last and final ending that we have not gone through. I have absolutely no clue what that ending is and how to find it, but we will figure it out together, and that will complete the Forgotten City for us. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.